I find it nice, though, that the season pass equivalent that Mechabellum has, though, does not rank you down that hard. So it shouldn't be all that difficult in the later stages of it to get there. The problem is you only really make progress in the later stages, and with now combat power no longer being lost, they kind of alleviated that. So I definitely see what they're trying to get at here.
Well,
they're trying
it's
to
just
make
how
it
it should have been in the first place, right? Like, the original system was incredibly toxic.
I'm not sure I would call it that, but I can agree it wasn't all that amazing.
Listen, man, like, if we're trying to attract casual gamers, and to stay, like, the battle pass is like a great idea, right?
Yeah.
One, that's a great idea. Two, but what makes it an awful execution is the fact that you lose progress on it. That is unique to Mechabellum. That doesn't happen in any other game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah. I think that is because there was a bit of a junction between the combat power before being some arbitrary rating system in that sense, and now combat power actually has a purpose in that sense. So I think it was because... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna aggro this. Gonna go aggro on this. I'm not playing sledges against Stormcallers in standard.
Yeah.
I think that would be a bad idea.
Long story short, what I'm getting at is that we are hardwired, like, even primates are hardwired for fairness. And you know what doesn't feel fair? Losing progress on your reward tracker. Getting, like, a demerit because you had, like, a bad day when playing. Like, it was not good. And it probably turned off a lot of the casual base.
That I can
understand.
Not to say
like they haven't stayed. Like, we still have a large sum of players. Tournaments still look very healthy. It's just yeah. I think that implementation did a lot more harm than good.
You may very well be correct. I mostly think that was the case because combat power was maybe never conceived as that. And they had to change it around for what they now want it to be. So we were in this kind of weird middle stage where it wasn't that and it wasn't the other. Weird.
Yeah, Pimpy agrees. Hi. I think Clint nailed it in this. The loss is so arbitrary when there is simultaneously an MMR system. Yeah, precisely, right? What's the functional difference between combat power and MMR? Well, it's just a slightly more inflated number. Their mechanisms, the mechanism to determine what the size of the number is works fundamentally the same, right? It is determined by win or loss. In the case of MMR, it can go down, right? In the case of combat power, there was eventually a set of changes, right, that made it so that losing was much harder and technically impossible if you had at least a 50% win rate. But that makes it feel even worse when you end up negative on combat power because you had like a 40% win rate or whatever. Yeah, so there's no winning with that old system. That old system was broken, and it needs to go, and it needed to go. This is how it should be.
I think I never really cared about it, but only because I wasn't really thinking of combat power, or rather, I wasn't thinking of the season as an actual season pass. I never made that connection before.
Yeah, no, and that's what. I mean, because it's so alien, right? We don't think of combat power because it's never how it's been.
Because we know combat power as this different method of gauging basically how much players have played. It's a different mechanism for us, and that's why we didn't really think of it this way. But we should have been thinking of it this way all along. Okay, I'm getting rhinoed, but I think your crawlers should be good to intercept, I hope. Yeah, your crawlers intercept.
Oh, that's huge. And my rhino's gonna get in on my guy.
Nice.
I don't know if my guy did the rhino drop, though. No, your guy did the rhino drop. But nice little debuff here is always needed. Yeah, fine for me who will grind, but bad for the average gamer is 100%.
Okay, now I'm losing my tower. Ugh. And you're losing yours. But I got off with leveling my tanks and putting damage on him. So I wager we should be fine-ish in the long term. Oh, I'm glad those were not the opponent's tanks.
No,
I was fearing the worst after the Rhino still got the tower.
3x Rhinos, Jesus, man. That's tough to beat.
I'm betting my guy goes for the fortress. So I'm thinking I might actually go for the steel balls. Yeah, here be fort. So I think my positioning is bad on these steel balls. And again, I expected him to put the fort there, so that's why I put the steel balls there. Okay, the ball still locks on. Very nice, very nice.
I have a Rhino about to take out the middle towers.
Okay, yeah, it targets the arc light. If it had gone the other direction, that would have been bad. But you're getting torn to pieces by this, by the scorpion and the fort.
I mean, torn to pieces is an exaggeration. The fort has a sliver of HP. You're gonna tickle it and then gonna die. Then you're gonna die with the scorpion. See, you're getting torn to pieces by the scorpion.
I am definitely getting torn to pieces by the scorpions, but these are no tech tanks so far.
Yeah.